Hi there, my name is Ian Crew. I'm an instructor at the Joy of Dance Center in Toronto, Ontario, and the creator of SocialBallroom.Dance. I'm very happy to have you with us today. We're going to start with a special theme for this month. I wanted to talk a little bit about the various benefits of ballroom dancing in our lives. So I wanted to start today with some of the physical benefits, and these are the more obvious ways in which ballroom dancing can help strengthen us, whether it's through flexibility or muscle toning or things like that. But we'll start with some of the more obvious ones. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is our posture and our balance. So we know if you've been dancing for ballroom dancing for any period of time, you know that being able to hold yourself a certain way and be able to control your movement from step to step, you want to stay balanced throughout the whole thing. Because if you're not really balanced, then you're not really in control of the movement. And naturally that's going to show up and be helpful in a lot of other areas of your life, right? It also is very helpful for our reflexes, because when we're needing to react to things quickly, this is especially helpful for followers, because you need to be able to respond to whatever your leader is going to ask of you, and you may not know in advance what it's going to be, so you have to have that really rapid fire reaction. But for the leaders, it can be very good for you too, because when you're learning like a Latin dance, like a cha-cha, an East Coast swing, a salsa, these require, fast direction changes and moving from point A to point B very quickly sometimes. So you need to be able to react to things in order to keep up with what the music is asking of you. And that can be very helpful as well in our everyday lives when, we need to make a different kind of reaction. You maybe catch a glass that's falling, or catch something, or maybe if you play sports or things like that, it can be very helpful to have that rapid fire reaction. One benefit of ballroom dancing that's not talked about as much is lung capacity. And just to get an idea of why lung capacity is so important, try this. If you take your chin and you put it down on your chest, like this, right? Well, first of all, you're going to find this isn't very comfortable. But what I'd ask you to focus on is making sure, feeling how much air you can draw in here. You probably can't fill your lungs very much, and it's not very comfortable. And I think you'll find, I'm just going to bring my head up, I think you'll find if you try to, say, run in place or do some other physical activity while you have your head like that, you'd find that you'd very quickly start to get out of breath. Anyone who's been smoking for a long time and remembers what it was like before they started smoking, they'll know what I'm talking about. What ballroom dancing does is it helps to strengthen and stretch out the intercostal muscles, which is just a fancy way of saying the muscles that are in between your ribs that expand when we take a breath. So as they're allowed to open up more, that allows our lungs to expand more, and we're able to take more air in. So as a side benefit of that, it helps to increase our endurance, how fast or how long we can do something physical without losing our breath, without needing to take a break. So what else? Another great benefit of ballroom dancing is that it greatly improves our flexibility. So flexibility, I like to define as just how far different parts of our body can move without injuring ourselves. And that can be very important, especially if you need to react quickly to something in real life. Maybe you have to catch yourself from falling down, or maybe you're doing something more physical in your work with, or you play sports. And if you don't have that extra flexibility there, it's very easy to accidentally overextend yourself, and now you're actually injured in some way. And speaking of being aware of potential injuries, as we ballroom dance, we also build a sense of body awareness. So as we learn how to execute different movements, we gain an increased familiarity with our bodies. We get to understand how different muscles and different joints are working together. And the side benefit of that is that we'll become increasingly aware of when something's not working quite the way we expect it to. So if we feel like there's, a tightness in some place or pain somewhere, some imbalance in the body, we're gonna be able to recognize that before it becomes something more serious that, benches us for a while. So we can go and see somebody about that. So maybe it's a chiropractor, maybe it's an osteopath, maybe it's a massage therapist, and be able to correct that before it becomes a big issue. And finally, another one of the major benefits is that it improves your body coordination. When we move throughout any dance pattern, we're constantly learning how to have more control over every movement, to have that finer control that gives us a sense of power and grace and elegance. And this isn't just something for the ladies. Men, you can get a lot from that as well. There'll be a lot of ladies who will tell you, I'm sure, that it's very sexy to have a man who can be very fluid in their movement, even if they're just walking around downtown. So these are sort of the main physical benefits of ballroom dancing. There's other things like muscle tone and things like that, but I want to just cover some of the ones that most of us can relate to. So next week what we're going to do is we're going to move on to some of the mental benefits, things like memory and so on. So I hope you found this helpful to you. For some of you, this may be the reason why you dance in the first place. And for those of you who are more on the fence about ballroom dancing, I hope that if there were a few benefits here that you didn't think about, I hope that helps convince you that this is a worthwhile and a very enjoyable activity. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to shoot me a message at my Facebook fan page, which is Ballroom Dancers Anonymous, or you can send me an email at ian@SocialBallroom.Dance. Once more, that's ian@SocialBallroom.Dance. And I'd love to hear any comments or questions or even complaints. Anything is good. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week.